So when it comes to summer vacation, as mothers, we want that, kids should utilize their time. We don't want them to study the entire, 12 hours that they are awake, but at least if they give 1 hour, which is two, it's a lot if they're doing it, consistently. So 1 hour of everyday work will add up to a lot of, final result. So I will be starting with English and then math and then Hindi. But before that, I want to tell you that everything depends from children to children. So there are three categories here that I'll be working on. There would be a child who is quite delayed in learning. So again, summer vacation would be something where they can catch up on their backlog. And then there's a child who knows, who's average. He was quite well in UKG, but we need to brush up on all the stuff that he or she has done in UKG so that he is not like lost when grade one starts, because they get a break of 2.5 months, at least in our city. They get a break of 2.5 months. And if the child is idle, scientifically also we know that it's going to be very difficult for them to kickstart again. And the last category is when you see that the child is has a high potential. He is a quick learner. I would also put the child under prodigy category. And Priyanka, I'll definitely tell you that Kavya is in this category because she can gauge information very easily. Now, the reason why I'm being so confident because she was with me for the past 3 months. So for you, you will have a very different approach. Okay. And if I put my son, he is the average kind, I'll have a very different approach. And a child who is still struggling with UKG should be having a very different approach. So let's start from English. English, in English, you have to aim for reading, that I always say, but then you say that, okay, Avni, my child is reading. I have quite a lot expectations from children when they read. I'll share my screen uh, so that you also have similar expectations. It doesn't mean that, if my child reads a text like this, okay, I will not be happy if my child is reading something like this. I will not be happy. This is actually a reference taken from BOB book level 1, okay, which is going to have a lot of words around CVC category, and a bit of sight word. Okay, bit of sight word. Now, in sight word, there are different levels. Now, it comes under Dolch pre-K, then it's going to be Dolch K, and then, kindergarten, then there's going to be grade 1, and that's how it goes forward, grade 1. So here, when I gave you this example, the cat sat on a mat, and then I can write the Sam and Pam sat on mat. So these are very, very simple stories, which according to me, a 4.5 to a 5-year-old should be reading. But right now the kids are 6 and they're almost going to turn 6. So what should the text look like? It should have a lot of complicated sight words along with CVC and CVCE. Now, what is CVCE? We know that it has the long vowel sound in it. Long vowel sound. So the child should be familiar with short as well as long vowel sound. Short vowel sound and the long vowel sound, along with all the sight words, which I would say till grade 1 they should be acquainted with. If you ask me, Avni, where will I get the list of these sight words that I'm talking about? If you Google it up, you're going to get list of these words. And secondly, you see that I promote a book quite a lot on my Insta page. That's the yellow and the blue book that I have shared. First Sight Words and Sentences by Dreamland. So if the child has finished both the two books, it has covered almost 100 words, which they are going to get when they start reading children's picture book. Now you'll ask me, what is a children picture book and how it is different from a phonics reader? Please tell me if you want to know about this and you know the difference. So to encourage reading, to encourage that confidence that the child has developed and would feel that and is not intimidated ki reading is my cup of tea, we start with phonics readers, bob books ke ya any readers that has the three-letter word cat mat sat, as I have just discussed over here. So Shanaya, Deepika, Shanaya would be comfortable in reading cat sat on mat, as you can see the words. Yeah. So that is something that if she's reading every day, she's going to have a confidence that, I am a good reader. And then would be the next strategy that I'm talking about, that introduce sight words. Next, I'm talking about CVC and CVCE, which again is very simple, like Jane sat on, I'm just making random stuff on lion's mane. Okay, so here it has CVC as well as CVCE. Now I will add a complicated sight word, that is because he likes to play. Okay, now Jane can be a girl or a boy, however it is. Now see, here it's a sentence which is a compound sentence because there are two sentences which has been joined with because. The detail mein to we cannot teach, but it is just for our understanding. So this is second category of reading. Now the challenge that is going to come is cat sat on mat mein bache will say ki in Hindi he's going to translate ki cat mat pe baith gaya. Next is Jane sat on lion's mane because she likes to play. So if we see how they are processing it, if it's an English community, if it's an English environment at house, then there is no problem. Priyanka, I'm sure Kavya is not going to face any problem there to interpret the
Yeah.
second. Not at all. But if it is not an English family, community, or a background where we are communicating in English, the child is going to take time to process. Here we'll help them to break it. Jane sat on lion's mane. Try to understand. Now, when they are reading, they are not comprehending. This is again a challenge. So you'll ask your child to first read it and then again close the ears. And when you close your ears, आप अपनी बातें खुद सुन लेते हो. And then that is going to help them to concentrate and interpret. And then because she likes to play, because का मतलब भी नहीं पता हो सकता, so you have to do a lot of Hindi, English to Hindi translation. So this is the second category that I'm talking about. So these kinds of sentences, the entire UKG, upper kindergarten children should be reading. By the time the school is over, they should be able to read and interpret. Now comes another sentence that I'm talking about. You let me know if you can see my screen or not. Like it's visible. I'll start the text from here and it's going to be in pink or red. Okay.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Thank you. This is what I want the current 6-year-old to read. Okay. Jane said, I played basketball for an hour in my backyard as I was getting bored. It has a lot of sentences, as you can see, and to process is going to be difficult. Trust me, you may be thinking it's easy, but when they are reading, the challenging part would be reading basketball, which may not be. They have to break it. Two CVC words के साथ पढ़ेंगे. Like here, we break bas, cat, and then ball, which comes from all family. For an hour in my backyard. Why? Because I was getting bored. So along with reading, you will have to ask questions from your children. Whenever you take a text, there's a lot of implicit information. अब implicit और explicit बहुत जरूरी होता है रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन में, क्योंकि बहुत सारी चीजें डायरेक्टली लिखी रहती है एंड बहुत सारी चीजें अज्यूम करना पड़ता है, बट assumption has to be as per the text. Okay, so you'll ask me what exactly am I talking about. I'll let you know when I read a passage or something. So this red text that you see is actually a text from children's picture book. A children's picture book is going to have good illustration so that the child is interested in reading because he would like to see the colorful pictures, and it's going to have a combination of all the rules like phonics bhi hai, sight reading bhi hai, syllables bhi hai, sab kuch hai. And even without introducing these rules to your children, you can do it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so if I talk about Julia Donaldson and we take Gruffalo, or if I take Room in a Broom, you pick up that book and just start reading. You will see, you will be surprised that your child is actually reading, but he is getting irritated. I cannot go beyond one page because a lot of thinking they are doing and it is challenging for them. So start with one page, then move on to second page and do discussion. Acha, aapko aisa kyun laga? So for example, yesterday we were reading Farmyard Tales from Usborne series, and it's the story about a pig who got lost, and they are looking for the pig. And finally, Rusty barked, and everybody saw that the pig was in the ditch. Okay, and there were a lot of you know uh, situations and episodes that has taken place before that. So the child has got completely confused, and he may not be following. Then I asked my son, who do you think finally rescued the pig? Because every character from the story, they were trying to find Rusty, and finally the pig. And finally, the dog rescued the pig, the piglet. I asked him, how do you know that this dog has rescued the pig? Then he said that he barked and everybody came around the ditch and spotted the little piglet. So these are the kind of comprehension questions that you will have to ask. So when we read, entire focus हम reading पे लगा देते हैं, तो सारे words मेरे बच्चे बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ रहे, हो गया reading. This is something that I did with my daughter. I was so happy that she's reading, but after 2 years I realized that comprehension हो ही नहीं रहा है. But if you do this right now, आपको after 2 years you not have to do any effort because your child knows the interpretation, etc. So let me show you a book. Give me 1 second. So these are the picture books, and you have to take good authors. Especially, I would recommend all the UK, Britain, England authors because their English is spectacular. And these look colorful, and every page has just 2 sentences on it. It's very easy to follow. Just 2 sentences. So you keep coming back to this book. So if you ask me that how can I make the most of this reading period? So segregate it. Keep 3 books with you. One is where the child is reading and you are explaining. The other one is a BOB book, the simple one where the child is very confidently reading fast, 5 minute में हो जा रहा है. But इसमें सोचना पड़ेगा उनको. तो ये आप उनके साथ पढ़ो, and they may take 1 week to finish this book. So when I read 2 pages today, tomorrow I will not ask my child to read those 2 pages because then by the time he finishes the 2 pages, he's going to get, uh, lost and tired. So when I'm reading on the next day, I will read these 2 pages. Uske pehle I'll ask my child what they remember. Okay. Now you'll ask me, why am I doing this? Because very soon these 6-year-olds will move on to this chapter book. Chapter book में क्या होता है, आप एक दिन में तो book खत्म कर नहीं पा रहे हो. So you should have that recollecting ability in you. Now you can create these recollecting ability by all these exercises that I'm telling you, because not every child maybe, they may not be able to recollect. So मैंने इसके 2 pages पढ़े आज, मेरे बच्चे ने पढ़ा. कल I will ask what do you remember. If he has forgotten, I'll just read all the sentences and then he's going to continue. That's it. Now just have a look at the text. Have a look at the text and see the choice of words, and do you think your child can read it right now. After they are thorough with all the phonics, CVC, CVCE rule, you think he or she can read. Now, there are two types of reading, which again has to be adapted as per the child's ability. Now, there is one set of child who's a very quick learner. who, अगर वो आज because देख लेगा, तो वो after 1 month will also say this is because. For those set of kids, don't waste your time to teach them phonics rule. Just start reading. Read, read, read. They're going to come across the same set of sentences. Now, a lot of people say कि उसी book को 5 बार पढ़ा दी. I feel don't do that, because in another book also those words will be there. Okay? And that's going to be a better practice. So with such kids, don't waste time for phonics, just read. And for the other set of kids, they will have to be explained logically. Every single word has to be broken, because such kids के parents will complain, my child can't retain. उसको नहीं याद है कि आज enough है तो ये कल भी enough होगा. नहीं हो सकता है. So my daughter falls in this category and my son is the second one. So my daughter, she needed the entire words to be broken out. Everything I have taught her phonetically, but when I see that my son doesn't need, because जब मैं उसको explain भी कर रही हूँ ना, ये rule है, he's not interested. So why should I waste time? But he is reading, so it's okay. So whichever strategy आप ले रहे हो, go as per your child. There is no hard and fast rule कि आप ऐसे ही करना. Okay. Next, these are the set of books which you should start. This is Ladybird series के Read It Yourself. These stories are all the classic stories, but ये adapted version है. It would not have those complicated word sentence structure, but again, it's equally challenging for the kids. So these are very, very simple ones. Since it is level 1, see, it has a lot of CVC words, sight words, and that's it. Your child will read this. And gradually, now this is level 2, and this is also level 2. So imagine what level 1 will be like. Okay. After you do this, you should be doing the picture books. Get 2 or 3. And I know everyone wants their kids to hold a thick, fat book like this. You move on to such books. So Ruskin Bond से पहले आप सुधा मूर्ति के भी early readers हैं. Ruskin Bond के भी early readers हैं. I will keep on posting such books, so you can start with that. So this is the process. Okay, so along with reading comprehension should be done. Now you'll ask me, how should I do reading comprehension? One, so while you are reading, you are explaining. The other one is follow the workbooks by Scholastic, or have small passages which has question and answers. And even if he or she doesn't want to write, if he's answering, काफी. Okay? Any other question in English? I know spellings के लिए we are bothered, but I personally don't bother much for spellings. Over time हो जाता है. But if the child goes to a CBSE school, it would not work. So you have to go as per the traditional method. Make them write 10 times. That's how he or she is going to pick up on the spellings. Anything else आप अगर English में आपको है, because then we will move on to maths and then Hindi. Any doubt, parents? No? Okay. Okay. So now when it comes to maths, whatever they have done till this particular grade, they should be thorough with it. Of course, numbers, counting, backward counting, forward counting. I keep on telling the same thing because their parents, they know. I'll just repeat. So firstly, they should recognize the numbers, like what 83 is and what 38 is. This is a major confusion that happens. Now, Priyanka, these would be actually redundant for you because Kavya doesn't face any problem here. So as I'm telling you that for you, you'll have to do something else with her. So 83 and 38 is something that a child gets confused. So you have to first see that your child is thorough with their number sense. Okay. What comes before, what comes after, skip counting, backward counting, till 100. till 100, because grade 1 में इससे ऊपर they don't do. Till 100. But if you're talking about Olympiad competitive exams, then definitely you have to go till 1000, which means till 999. 3 digit तक उनको mastery आनी चाहिए. Well, if you ask me, as per my experience, if I have spent a lot of time doing 2 digit addition and doing all the number sense of 2 digit, my child never faced any problem in 3 digit. Yeah, my child never faced problem in 3 digit, 4 digit, 5 digit, because वो naturally build up हो जाता है. जब आपको पता है कि 79 के बाद 80 है, तो 779 के बाद 780 होता है. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about here. Please pay attention to number sense, which means the child should count forward, count backward, fill in the blanks, skip counting. इसके पहले क्या आ रहा है, इसके बाद क्या आ रहा है, ascending, descending. If I randomly put the numbers like this, say 67, 87, 76, intentionally I have given confusing numbers like this, he or she should be able to arrange it in ascending or descending order. So अगर आपको लग रहा है कि मेरे बच्चे ये नहीं कर सकते हैं, so please pay attention for these 3 months. And they will be doing the same things at school also. That's it. Okay. So next is moving on in mathematics, right? Addition. So I go with the number bonds way, addition and subtraction. But whichever way you have taught, the child should be able to add all the single digit numbers, जिसका answer भी single digit आ रहा है, less than 10. Okay, like 1 plus 7, 2 plus, sorry, 2 plus 5. Single digit addition up to just 10, they should know. Because then very soon, they will be able to do double digit addition. Okay, borrowing and taking forward, carry forward is not going to come in this particular age group. So I'm not talking about that right now. So then your child can easily add these numbers. I teach them to do it mentally and not the column way. We divide it into tens and ones. 76 is made up of 70 and 6. And 20 has just 20 in it. So I'll add 70 and 20, which becomes a 90 and then 96. Mentally ho jata hai. Bahut easy hai. If you're interested, I just want to go a little higher. Let's talk about a grade 4 child. Okay? 17 cross 6. I teach my child to do this mentally. Very quickly here. 20 seconds. How? This is possible only because जो उसका फाउंडेशन लेवल था उसमें हम वैसी बातें कर रहे थे ग्रेड 1 में, जैसा मैंने आपको बताया 76 और 20 ब्रेक करके 70 अलग 20, because this is the process. So now when she is in 5th grade, she can do this mentally. Very easy. मतलब हम कर सकते हैं, but to explain the child it's difficult. Now 17 can be broken down as 10 and 7. Very easy. Now 6 times 10 she knows 6 times 7 and she adds it. 42 and 60. 102. Very, very fast it has to be done. And it comes over practice. मतलब मैं भी बहुत बार mistake कर सकती हूँ. हो ही जाती है मुझसे. But these kids are very smart. So these are the things that you should aim for. Okay. So, and again, I have not introduced subtraction. तो आपको subtraction भी करना पड़ेगा. There's some amazing concept of place value. Please don't skip place value, because in higher grades, they write things like 100 tens क्या होता है, 32 ones क्या होता है, like this. Okay, and they may write 32 ones in many different ways. You'll ask me, okay, Avnish, show it to me. So I'll write 320 ones is actually 320, a 3-digit number, right? Equals to, let me just take it little up. Now I can break it down as 300 and 2 tens, correct? It can also be broken down into 300 and 20 ones, correct? And I can also say, just to confuse the child, 32 tens. Another way is 300 and 21. So these are the different ways the same number can be broken down. So Priyanka, this is where you have to work with Kavya. Okay. Understood? Any doubt? Now, next, if you see that your child is taking addition, subtraction very easily, what should we do next? Skip counting. What is the advantage of skip counting? It trains your child for multiplication, division, times table. 2, 4, 6, 8 skip counting के थ्रू बता देते वो tables. वैसे ही आप 3 करोगे. But ये सब चीजों के लिए mental addition is required. For example, if I am doing 3 का skip count, 3, 6, 3, 6, 9, 12, another 3. So वो 2 और 3 देख रहे हैं and they are doing it 15 because they know the number bonds. 2 and 3 makes a 5. So 12 and 3, they're just adding the ones which is coming as 15, right? Are you getting my explanation here? So I move for skip countings after I see that the child is thoroughly adding stuff. Okay. In maths, is there anything that you want to ask me? मतलब in grade 1, this is what we have to work around. बस इतना. बाकी data interpretation, other things, again, moves around addition only or subtraction only. They have to infer this information and they have to either add or subtract. That's it. So addition and subtraction and number sense, उसको बहुत अच्छे से करना होगा. So if you feel कि 2 digit हो गया है, move on to 3 digit. Okay? And then there is another concept which I don't want to because ये इस category के लिए है ही नहीं, but it is rounding off. Estimating stuffs to nearest 10. If you want, I can explain. Okay. For example, there is this number 56. Round it off to the next 10. So it's going to be 60. Previous 10, it's going to be 50. ये बहुत जरूरी है कराना. I'll just write it down. Round off या estimate to next whole 10 or previous whole 10. That's it. And then again, you have to do the same thing for a 3-digit number. This is something that I'm talking about, 2-digit number. You can definitely do this now. Priyanka, you can do this right now because ye baki cheeze mein she is thorough. Okay. So now you have any doubt related to maths, please go ahead, ask me, and then I'll move on to Hindi. See, I'm not talking about spelling because that is something that they have to do. Like spelling of numbers 1 to 100 phonetically or the other way, they have to do. So I'm not doing that. Don't waste time.
Hi, Avni.
Hi, Poonam, just a second.
Yes.
Don't waste time in teaching them spellings rather than work on these skills because इसको reinforcement में बहुत time लगता है ये समझाने में. All the things that I have spoken about. Yes, Poonam, go ahead.
Yeah, I was asking Avni, what is the right age to introduce Singapore maths and whether it conflicts with the school teaching? Will it confuse kids or how do one go about it?
So Poonam, firstly, I'll definitely take this question in the next session that we will have after this.
No problem.
Yeah, so you rejoin using the same link at 10, but I want to brief it out to you. If your child goes to a traditional school, Singapore math is going to confuse them, so don't do it. But if you are 1 year ahead, then it is not going to confuse your child. I'll tell you how to go about that after you join the meeting once it ends, okay? Any other question related to maths?
Yeah, so me,
Yes.
like my son is about to go to the UKG. So I want to know if I should teach him till 100 or 50 and start with the addition subtraction.
How is his recognition of numbers?
It's very good.
Just a second. Huh? Yeah, tell me.
So the recognition is very good.
He
but
knows numbers.
He knows till 30 right now.
Okay.
I was confused. Should I teach him till 50 because orally he says all the numbers till 50 and
But
he
there is
can
no
write
point,
also.
Shelka, there's no point in teaching orally if he cannot relate it with the actual digit of that number. 67
No,
बोल
not
रहा है.
doing with those. नहीं वो those you told me to get those
The
now the
blocks.
yellow
Yeah.
the blocks.
But
He's doing
Shweta,
with those.
but उसके साथ भी, when he is having the rods and the ones, there should be the digit 67.
Yeah,
मतलब
it
मैं,
is there. It is
so
there. The till
he's
30
right.
it is there.
So ये 67 है, right? If it is 67 and I have these rods, I'll have 6 rods, correct? And then all the small
Yeah.
ones, and I'll have 7 pieces, right? So this is exactly, if you're
Yes.
doing this, then it is right. So 30 हो गया तो move ahead. Okay?
Move ahead with the numbers and not with the addition subtraction.
No. See, ये parallelly करना होगा. जब आप देख रहे हो कि बच्चा बोर हो गया है, then you move on to addition. फिर जब बच्चे addition से बोर हो
Okay.
गए, you can move on to this. You have to do this for 1 whole year. Definitely come back
Right.
to 2 digit, no, sorry, 2 plus 5, addition till 5, and then move on to addition till 10. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And how about the reverse counting? When should we introduce that?
Now also, you should do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Reverse counting, forward
second
counting,
is
ये सब होना चाहिए.
sorry.
Counting backward, counting forward should be done along with whatever you are doing.
Along.
Yes.
Right. And second is it is the English question. Like
Yeah.
he gets very confused with B and D, the lowercase B and D.
Yeah. Abhi bhi,
B
even
and D.
my son does it. Over time, it's going to go. ठीक है?
Okay.
B and D, P and Q, these are all mirror image के alphabets. It goes over time, don't worry. ठीक है? They will
Okay.
themselves erase and correct it. Yeah.
Okay, right. And should we should I start with reading the words or the sentences? Like where
Right
like
now,
you said
words
for the
and then sentences. Start with words
first
and
words
then
and then
sentence. Yes. Because he's just young. Yeah. Start with words. If he's picking up, move on to sentences, because it's the same thing. If he's reading 5 words, he can read a sentence, right? It comprises of 5 words. Yeah.
yeah, right.
ठीक है?
Thank you.
So let's start with Hindi. Poonam, I'll definitely take your question after this. So in Hindi, they always start Hindi 1 year after they have introduced English alphabet. So recognition of Akshar Mala is very important. Akshar and like Swar and Vyanjan. Then comes the मात्रा. मात्रा की तो बात ही नहीं कर रही हूँ मैं अभी. अब ये बच्चे बहुत कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं कि ये म है कि भ है, ये य है कि थ है. एंड एक सेकेंड अथर. School? No school, Babu. You just got up. It's evening. कल जाएंगे school. Okay, he's confused because he just got up. He feels it's morning. So, yeah. So you have to first see कि they are thoroughly able to recognize the akshar with the sound. And especially you have to check. जैसे English में you check, right? च, श. You have to check कि वो थ को य ना बोले, घ को ध ना बोले. ये सारे confusing अक्षर्स हैं. श की साउंड में बैंड बज जाती है, क्योंकि मेरे बच्चे अभी भी स ही बोल रहा है, वो श बोलता ही नहीं है. ठीक है? So spend time in just revising the sounds. Okay? If you go the traditional way and if you feel that your child can write, तो definitely अ से लेकर के ग तक लिखा दो. जो आज के बच्चे लिखते नहीं है. हम लिख लेते थे, every day we used to write, but आज के बच्चे नहीं लिखते. And when they are writing, ask them to say the sound. K, kh, g, gh, r. There are a lot of amazing worksheets जिसके कारण reinforcement हो जाता है. Everything is around play way this time, not like how we used to study. We cannot expect them to study our way at all. Although they are much smarter than us, but we were a lot more hardworking than them. Okay, so as soon as you feel कि उनकी recognition हो गई है, just a second. The recognition has been done. You have to teach them the blends. Since they have blended the English alphabets, y, b, yab, बहुत easy आ जाता है. बहुत easily आ जाता है. त, b, tab. Start with two akshars and then just move on to 3. मतलब पीछे के, you must be having English Hindi books with you. Just move ahead, move forward, and just see कि वो अचकन पढ़ पा रहे हैं कि नहीं. Kids sometimes they read it, sometimes they don't. So these are the things that you should focus in summer vacation. कि 4 बिना मात्रा के 4 अक्षर के वर्ड्स वो लिख लेते हैं, सॉरी लिख भी लेते हैं एंड रीड भी कर लेते हैं. नाउ इफ यू फील कि दे कैन डू इट, मूव ऑन टू matras. लाइक टीच देम कि ये लकीर है, एंड अगर म के आगे वो लकीर लगा है तो मैं माँ बोलूंगा, जैसे हमने बावल सिखाया था, आ, लाइक ब आ इज बैक. तो इसीलिए वो 12 खड़ी आ जाती है, क आ का खा, सेम चीज आपको रिपीट करना है. ओके. And this is something that they will do in grade 1, but if you have introduced, your child will be comfortable in understanding it from the teacher. So that's all in this video. I'm going to end it and we can rejoin. Okay, see you.